Hey there, legendary souls. Welcome back to Unconventional Counseling. It's been a little minute. So, we are getting ready for the full moon in Scorpio this week. We've just exited an eclipse, a very, very powerful eclipse season. And it might start to feel like things are getting back to what you might be used to in some ways, question mark, because there's still so much going on astrologically. Like on the 20th of just this past weekend, on the 20th of April, there was this conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus, and both of them are so into expansion and breakthroughs and more and giving and blessings. So I'm not going to say that we're going back to something typical all the way, because what is there to go back to when everything is about, when the universe is all about ever expanding, just more and more upon itself, and our souls are pieces of the universe. So what we want to get into in this reading is to check in with this Scorpio full moon energy, to check in with the negativity that there is for you to release, to check in with the vision that there is for you to hold, and to check in with how potentially you may be able to surrender to the divine. Whew. There's so much happening. There's always so much happening. So let's get right into this reading, right after we pray. Divine Alchemist, angels and archangels, well ancestors for the viewer's highest good, well ancestors for my highest good, we invite you in at this time, and we thank you so much for returning, for coming back to spaces and places that used to be, for us, that used to be places of comfort, and finding yet again that there is still a sense of familiarity or comfort there, even when we have transformed, even when others have transformed, even when things are happening and changing and shifting so much in the cosmos and in our environments and in our world. There are still places that we can return to. Thank you so much for this full moon in Scorpio. Thank you, moon. Thank you, Scorpio energy, for showing up and showing out as you do, for being the first super intense energy that we get after this very, very powerful eclipse season. I sense that you will not disappoint as you don't. I sense that you will be dragging so many things to light, especially in our emotional bodies. And you know what, Scorpio, I'm here for it. Divine, well ancestors, spirit guides, angels and archangels, and Scorpio full moon energy, please support me in channeling messages from you all that are concise as they can be, because it is still Mercury retrograde, that are clear, again, as clear as they can be, because it is still Mercury retrograde, and that are supportive and uplifting and encouraging to the viewer, to those who are subscribed, to those who happen upon this video and find it, in whatever way that it's meant for them to be uplifted, in whatever way it's meant to offer them clarity, in whatever way it's meant to show them back towards you all, and the support that you all are continuously willing to provide. I ask all these things knowing that there's so much that you have done, so much that you're currently doing, and so much that you're going to do in service of these intentions and prayers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ashe. All right, so let's get into this. Let's read up about this energy. So when the full moon is in Scorpio, it is a time to release negativity. Scorpio has this incredible sense of, how do I say, obsessing, fixating on things that either they want to or things that they don't. And with this full moon energy, which we're feeling, you might be feeling it up to a week prior and up to a week after. I think most folks tends to feel the full moon energy, if it's not a supercharged moon, just about 3 days before and 3 days after. So anywhere from, the full moon is on the 23rd. So anywhere from April 16th through April 30th, the end of the month. But definitely within that window of April 20th, 21st, that weekend, up through the 25th, 26th. You might be feeling like let's say, especially because it's still Mercury retrograde season, if you have struggled with depression, anxiety, just mental health in general, mental health concerns in general that make it feel as though your mind gets overtaken, your body, your emotions get overtaken, and maybe you've done incredible work. You've likely done incredible work to progress to the space that you're in, that you have been in. Like, you've found spaces of peace, you've found spaces of joy, you've found spaces of gratitude within yourself, contentment even. And because this is like the last stretch of Mercury retrograde, and this is a full moon energy, and Scorpio can have a tendency to obsess and to fixate, and is really drawing up and dredging up any parts of our shadow that we have really been neglecting, avoiding, not seeing, not aware of. You might feel like you're going backwards, or you have gone backwards, or that anxiety, depression, or mental health concerns are more intense than they used to be because you maybe had a break from the intensity. And so it's not so much about, sometimes, for myself and also for my clients, sometimes when we're back in a place that feels so familiar that we don't want to return to in our minds and in our emotional bodies, sometimes we can say to ourselves, oh, I guess I didn't do the work. I guess I didn't heal. I thought I did. I guess I fooled myself. I guess I was wrong. We can say things like that, and we can start to conclude things that are falsehoods. And truly, they're false. They're not true. But they're coming from this place of such deep pain and confusion and disorientation. And we're trying to find a meaning out of why we're suffering, why we're in pain, why we're back where we used to be. And that in and of itself, that whole inner process is a whole thing to navigate, and a whole thing to work through and to move with. The deeper thing that I've been finding as I've been tapping into this Scorpio full moon energy, and the places that anxiety has come up again within me, is, for me, I'm realizing it's not so much about, I guess I didn't heal, because I know I healed. I was there. I have a whole therapist who's like, Ada, yes, you have progressed. We have seen changes, and I trust her, and I trust me. And I have journal entries upon journal entries upon journal entries, and I have seen the changes. I remember that there are times that I have felt so much more ease and calm than I have felt in the past few days. I know that. And no one can take that memory from me, not even this anxiety that's coming up like, well, did you really? I did really, anxiety. I did really. So this iteration, this time around, I'm in a space of, we're not even going to go there. Because I know I healed. I know I did. I know I've progressed. I have evidence. I have people in my life that are saying, yes, you changed, you're different. There are differences. And I have that felt memory in my body. I do. And it's taking more energy and effort to find those places of ease and to find those spaces of comfort for me. It's taking more time, it's taking more patience. Sometimes I get there, sometimes I don't. And sometimes I'm just like, nah, I'm going to keep meditating. I typically do this amount of time, but I still don't feel well, so I'm gonna do more. I just need more care, is what my new conclusion is. Oh, this is a hard time that I'm going through. I just need more care. So for me, the vision that I've been holding is my self-care is a priority. What I've been surrendering is this sense that I haven't been doing this deep, beautiful soul work all this time. And the negativity that I've been releasing is, well, maybe I don't have to lie to myself just because I'm scared. Maybe I don't have to say things that don't make me feel good about who I am and about what I'm capable of because I don't feel well right now, because my mind isn't doing well right now. Maybe that's what I get to release. So this, just saying, is one example of how this energy might be showing up for you. Now we'll get into the book. That was just the first channeled message. All right. So if you've been feeling paranoid and acting weird, take this card as a very direct message from the cosmos to stop it. Worrying yourself is pointless. It's time to release any negativity you have around the situation you're asking about. If someone has been unkind to you, perhaps it's time for you to release them. This card heralds an emotionally intense time, since both the full moon and Scorpio are extremely intense. It's time for you to feel all of your feelings. There might be some nastiness in the air when you pull this card, and if that's the case, take it as a sign to move away from anyone or anything you feel is toxic. For some, this card has a totally different meaning, and it might be saying that your sex life is improving right now. And it can if you make an effort. Use your magic. You have all you need inside of you to bring about your desired result. Some more aspects of this, some further messages from this particular card. It's time to release negativity. Grudges are toxic. Let something go. Ooh, I love that. I love that so much because I'm a Cancer. I know how to hold a grudge. I've known how to hold a grudge since I was a child. Nobody had to teach me that. I know how to hold a grudge. I witnessed adults do it and I was like, yes, I know how to do that too. I like that. Yes, I'm upset and I will remember forever. However, they are toxic, and I've learned that very young too. It doesn't actually feel good. We think it will. We think it will make us feel good to be upset about what someone has done or said, until the end of time or until we choose to. We think that it will. But it often makes us feel in a space of contraction. It often makes our hearts feel very closed. It often doesn't feel good to hold a grudge. It can be hard to let it go, though, because if we're focused on the other person, if we're focused on, well, I can't forgive them because they did X, Y, and Z, then we leave ourselves yet again. But if we focus on, it doesn't feel good for me to hold this, I'm going to set it down. It doesn't feel good for me to be focused or obsessed about this, so I'm going to choose to think of something else. That's where we can start to let it go. Another meaning, you're right to have your suspicions. Don't that just feel good to hear? When you're feeling suspicious and somebody's like, this makes sense that you feel suspicious. If this resonates for you in your gut, in your soul, that message is for you. Another message. The end of an argument is on its way. So if you're in conflict with someone, if you've been in conflict with someone, especially because of this recent very powerful conjunction between Jupiter and Uranus, that conjunction happens, I believe, like on average once every 14 years. So that might not feel like a lot of time. That might feel like a lot of time depending on your perspective. To me, I heard that and I was like, whoa, that's cycles, you know? Where you were at one decan of life when 14 years was, let's say 14 is very different from 28 years old, right? It's very different from 36, 28. Dang, math. They told people that they weren't good at math when they were kids. They told little kids of color, they told little AFAB folks they weren't good at math, and then they second guess themselves. That shit gets in. 28 plus 14 is 42. Yeah. I just need a little moment. I just need to figure it out. Yeah. I'm going to undo that shit. I'm great at math. I just need a moment. All right. Another meaning. It's time to move from living fearfully to living joyfully. Abso-freaking-lutely. And your final meaning for this card, emote. It's better out than in, as Shrek used to say. So let's see. Let's just get some additional cards for you for this first card. Some additional tarot cards to just further clarify. The Hierophant. We love it. Taurus energy, out and about. Playing with this Scorpio energy. So full moons are so intense, I think, because of the conversation that's happening between the sun and the moon. They are always in opposition when we have a full moon. So there is always this opportunity, this challenge, this friction that says, what are you going to choose? Both Scorpio and Taurus have this tendency to be very fixed. They are fixed in modality. And Taurus, gets the bad rap, we'll say, of being very stubborn. They can be. If you know someone with Taurian energy, if you have Taurian energy, wherever Taurus is in a person's chart, they can get very stubborn. It's just true. It's just true. It's not a judgment, especially if we're genuinely not trying to judge when we say it. Part of this energy of being very fixed, the thing is Scorpio can do this too, right? And the obsessiveness can get very fixed on something, and the focus can get very fixed. Taurus too can get very fixed in working towards a goal. So with this energy being in opposition to one another, with the Hierophant coming out, there are very old, we'll call them ancient, we'll call them archaic narratives, principles, philosophies that have been playing out in your life, in your family lineage, in your culture, in your environment, in your body, in your mind. There are these old narratives, many of which are connected to negativity, many of which feel like they're keeping you stuck. And when they come up, you might not even hear them. You might not even hear the words of them. Especially with Mercury retrograde, things can be a bit muddled. You might just feel them playing out. You might just not feel well. For me, I know that when I'm not feeling well, there's something I'm telling myself. There's a frequency within that I'm tuned into. If we were to say that my mind is like a radio, I'm tuned onto a station that isn't giving me good vibes. And I might not fully recognize what the station is saying to me. I might not hear it all. So you might not hear it all the time. Sometimes you might, and your mind might be racing and you might be hearing every word. Sometimes it might be going so fast or be so soft and subtle in the background that you can't quite pick up what's being said, but you're feeling the sentiment of it. You're feeling the intention of it. You're feeling the energy of it. And so this is the time to choose. Whatever's been playing in the background, whether you can hear it clearly or not, is this what you choose to have as a significant part of your life? Is this are you comfortable with that? Is this acceptable to you? Do you want this moving forward for the next few weeks, for the next months, for the next year or years? Do you want this? If your answer is no, it's time to release negativity. Let's see how you might be able to do that. I love this energy. I love this card. I love it especially because in my own tarot pulls this week, I've been pulling this card quite a bit. So I've been studying this card quite a bit. How do you release negativity? Do you see where they're focused? They are focused on what feels like lack. They're focused on what they already have, but they're feeling a sense of lack. They're feeling a sense of apathy. They're feeling like it's not enough. Because they are so focused on what feels like not enough, they're not realizing that there are opportunities always available from the divine, but currently available from the divine. You release negativity by intending to be open to what the divine has in store for you, by intending to be open and aware of blessings. You release negativity by practicing gratitude. If you're going to focus on the things that you have, be grateful for them. If you don't, if that doesn't feel accessible, move your body. Do you see how tense and rigid this person's body is? Do you see this? Uncross your arms. Roll your shoulders back. Embrace your heart. Let your heart shine forward. Lift your gaze to the sky. Look up at a cloud. Daydream. Go for a walk. Go outside. Be somewhere new. Laugh. Play. Dream. Take a nap. Take a break from staring, from mean mugging everything that doesn't work for you. There's so many possibilities. Those are just a few that come to mind. All right. Let's get into this next card. Hold your vision. So because, as we've been saying, right, Scorpio energy is a fixed modality. So if there was an intention that you set around the new moon, solar eclipse in Aries, my goodness, if you didn't set an intention, a very clear one, it was Mercury retrograde, so maybe you didn't really have access to just like a sense of clarity. Maybe your words didn't feel, maybe you just weren't sure what you wanted yet. That's okay. It really is. Because eclipse portals, while technically on the one hand, we can say that the eclipse portal is closed, like the intensity of the energy is not with us in the same way, eclipse energy goes for 3 to 6 months after it. And we had 2 eclipses back to back. So technically you could ride that energy out for the rest of the year. And Aries begins the astrological year. So if you feel like you still haven't really set your intentions for this year, you still aren't quite sure where you want to go or what you're doing, there's still time. And I would say the time is now. The time really is now. Like, feel all your feelings, get through it. And then once you feel more regulated, it's time. It really is time to start writing something down, start creating vision boards, start sitting in meditation, start being in nature, start really deepen and check in with you. What do I want? What do I want to create? Because you are a creator. It was something that you were gifted with. We all are. Okay. Once you know what it is that you want, or maybe you already do know what it is that you want. Maybe you did set intentions around the Aries new moon, solar eclipse. Maybe you had the clarity. Wonderful if you did. This is the time to hold your vision. This is the time to take all that like paranoid energy, take all that obsessive energy and put it towards what you want. That shift is going to be powerful as heck for you. The book says there are two main possibilities with this card. The first is that you need to stand firm in whatever situation you're in. So that's what we're saying, right? If you know what you want, put that energy, this Scorpio energy, that fixed, like focused energy, slightly obsessive energy, and stand firm in what it is that you want to create. Figure out what steps there are for you to take, or allow yourself to intuitively move. Allow yourself to be inspired to act. Allow yourself to still daydream, to write things down, to get a sense of, who can I collaborate with? What do I want to do? What do I want to create? What is the vision? What is my why? Ask all those beautiful questions of yourself. Do the shadow work around your vision. Make it feel even more real. The second, very different interpretation is that something is stuck. You'll know the difference, right? You'll know if this energy that you're feeling is moving you and propelling you forward or deeper or wider. It's propelling you in a direction that is new. Or if it feels like something is turning over within itself and there is a stuck energy and there is no momentum. One typically makes you feel anxious, but maybe excited. The other might make you feel anxious and a sense of regret or shame, right? Like, you might still feel anxious either way. You might still feel nervous either way, but there's one that comes with excitement and there's one that comes with pain. Okay, so if something's stuck, the book says, have a think about what you can do to grease the wheels so that the events move forward. It says, are you being stubborn? We just talked about stubbornness. If so, that's great. Because if you really want things to change, there's an easy solution. Stop digging your heels in. Be the one to break a deadlock. With two interpretations for this card, it's up to you to decide what is going on and which meaning applies to you. And this offers up a chance for some self-reflection. Some meanings for this card. Avoid stagnation. Powerful. A personal or professional relationship will be enduring. Someone needs to back down. So if you're getting angry, if someone else is getting angry, oftentimes anger comes up because boundaries have been crossed in some way. Sometimes the anger comes up because the person didn't realize that they had these boundaries and they're just coming into them. Sometimes the anger comes up because they've communicated in the ways that they knew how over and over again. This is not okay with me, and the thing still occurred in some way. So if there are boundaries being crossed or transgressed and there's anger arising, either listen to the anger of the person in your life and take a step back and give them space. Or if the anger is coming up in you, give yourself some space. Get a sense within yourself, what was my boundary? Where was crossed? What am I upset about? Because someone needs to back down. Another meaning. Staying power, faith, or patience are needed. Yeah, that's holding your vision. And the final meaning here is yes. Just say the word a lot and see how that feels. Ooh. All right, let's see what tarot cards want to come out to support this part of our reading. Ooh, yep, all that fighting spirit with the 5 of Wands. And, the 10 of Swords. So right? Either you are holding your vision and you're fighting for what you believe in, you're defending yourself, you're defending something that means so much to you. You are using this energy to attempt to create some momentum. And it might result as conflict in a relationship. It might result as inner turmoil within you as some things are brought to light and you realize them. It might result as momentum towards something, but it might feel a bit energized. It might feel chaotic. It might feel overwhelming. It might feel like there are moving pieces going in different directions before things are sorted, because it's a full moon. It's a Scorpio full moon. It's an intense time. On the other hand, we have the Ten of Swords, the everything is fine card, the sarcastic, everything is fine. The higher self, everything is fine, even though how it looks, everything is fine. Whichever way that you interpret this, this may represent a sense of stagnation that you're feeling. There is a tremendous amount of pain that we experience when we are experiencing ourselves as stagnant. The swords are about our perception and our mindset. So one thing that you can shift before anything in your environment or situation shifts is your perspective. Can you tell yourself that everything is fine and believe it from the higher self's perspective? Like, look, no matter how this looks, I know how this feels. In the grand scheme, everything is fine. You are fine. Things are working out for you. Can you believe that? That's one option. Another option, stop telling yourself that you're stuck. You can say that, you have to practice patience right now. You can say that things are working out in divine timing and you're frustrated that it's not happening faster, that it sucks that you feel like things aren't moving at the pace that you want them to move. But then if you practice curiosity, which is also a mental thing, you might realize that there are parts of you that aren't ready. You might realize that there are parts of you that aren't ready to move in that direction yet. So again, you are the creator. You are co-creating this experience. And that feels way more empowering than saying that you're stuck and you can't have what you want, right? It's like, oh, maybe my inner child is scared. Dang, let me go talk to them. Let me go find out what they're scared about. Oh, maybe this other part of me, maybe my shadow isn't ready because they'll think that I won't need them anymore. You get to find out through curiosity and compassion. All right, let's check in with this third card. I love just the progression of the message, right? It's time to release negativity. You're releasing negativity and you're also holding your vision. And you're surrendering to the divine. Like, it might feel like this Five of Wands energy. It might feel like this Ten of Swords energy. Like, how do we do it all? Let's find out when we read Surrender to the Divine. Something that I've been learning, again, as I've been tapping into this Scorpio full moon energy, is we don't got to do it all by ourselves. Sometimes it feels like we do. I think many of us have been conditioned to believe that we have to. Many of us have had experiences where we wanted support, we wanted help, and it didn't come. It didn't show up in the ways we expected or the ways that we asked for and needed. It doesn't mean that now you have to do everything by yourself, though. That's pain speaking. All right, the book says, the very word climax brings all sorts of ideas and images to mind. Agreed? What a Scorpio-ass word. It's like, how are we already talking about sex? If that's what it brought to mind for you. Okay, but climax is really the feeling of this card. Okay. Life is coming to a head, a point, a conclusion, or a turning point. There may be some kind of change and possibly even some sort of emotional explosion. Tune into your emotions now and see what they're telling you. They're very likely close to the surface, no matter when in the moon cycle you've pulled this card. You know, I was real curious about what feelings might be coming up for you. So I pulled out my feelings cards as well. And now that we're talking so much more about feelings, let's see what might be coming up for you. This is good. Right away. Some resentment. Ooh. I see resentment as anger that has festered, anger that wasn't expressed, anger that didn't feel allowed, anger that didn't have space. And what's anger? Anger is hurt. So it turns into bitterness. It turns into feeling offended. It turns into an indignation. Definitely some irritation, right? Definitely. Probably always when it's a full moon. That being around certain people, certain energies, being in certain places, having to do things that maybe you really don't want to do, because full moons can also bring out a lot of fatigue in us. You might be feeling annoyed, aggravated, bothered, irritated, just kind of like over it, not wanting to talk, not wanting to connect, not wanting to maybe do what you might have done in a previous time. Do we have space for any more? I wanna pull some more feelings cards. Ooh. Yo. I love cards. I love being a diviner because I'll just shuffle and then the card will come out and it'll be a confirmation of the gifts that I have. Look at this. Resistance. Resistance, y'all. Feeling closed off, defensive, rebellious. Yeah, there's some stuff coming up that you really don't want to do. You really don't want to do it. You really don't want. Yeah, I get that. I get that personally. I get that professionally. I get that as just an empathetic human. Yeah, it might feel like now is not the time. Especially as we think about like the Four of Cups, the Five of Wands, to have this resistance right in the middle, right? Both of these are representing a sense of resistance. Even the Ten of Swords is. Not that we are trying to necessarily, but something feels out of alignment within us when we're feeling these things, when we're experiencing these energies. And that's one of the things that's coming up at the time of this full moon. That may be, you may want to surrender your resentment, your irritation, your resistance to the divine. You might not know how to let it go by yourself. You might want to ask, hey, divine, hey, spirit guides, can you please help me with these emotions? Can you help me make sense of them? Can you help me let go of them? Can you help me process them? Can you help me release them? Whatever your ask is. Because you don't have to do it all by yourself. It says that matters will soon conclude and you'll find out whether or not wishes are going to come true. Ooh. The odds are in your favor because this is a positive card, though you may need to work harder than usual to keep your cool. Okay, so what if as you're surrendering to the divine, as I'm saying to you, don't have to do everything by yourself. What if your focus literally this week just gets to be on what you feel and how you're feeling inside and the resistance that's coming up and the irritation that's coming up and the resentment and the annoyance and the feeling stuck and trying to shift your perspective and the feeling apathy and boredom and lack and trying to like feel your way through that and find some gratitude. Like, what if you just focus on you this week? What if that is the hard work that you're doing this week? What if intending to keep your cool and noticing when you start to get frustrated or lose your cool and then tending to yourself? Maybe you take a break. Maybe you let off some steam. Maybe you journal about it. Maybe you talk to a friend. Maybe you talk to a counselor. Like, what if finding ways, similar to me, right? What I said in the beginning, what if finding ways to tend to yourself even more and prioritize your self-care is one of the ways you surrender to the divine. What if that? All right, so some meanings for this card. It's time to let go of the past and move on. You may need to forgive someone to release negative energy. Ooh. Okay, if that feels prickly and you don't want to forgive someone else, can you forgive past you? You know? Maybe you keep it close. Maybe you keep it close to the vest this week and it's not about anybody else and it's just about you. Another meaning. There could be a sense of madness in the air. Breathe deep and try to stay calm. Another meaning. It's make or break time. Another Scorpio-ass thing to say. I say this with so much love. I have Scorpio energy myself. Another meaning, a wish you made may be about to come true. Oh, yay. We love that for you. Another final meaning, your affirmation, I am getting the answers I need. Yeah, you are. And your emotions are the ones telling you. Okay. Surrender to the divine. Things go a lot faster than you anticipate. They move with greater speed. There's more momentum. You focus on yourself, and a lot of the external energies tend to fall away. As you focus on yourself, you mirror to other people that they too get to focus on themselves. Literally because you're not available to focus on their energy or sorting through things with them. It's not your job to figure out what other people are feeling or to sort through it with them. What you get to do is focus on yourself, focus on what you're feeling, focus on what you need, and to the best of your ability to get those things, to move towards those things, or to ask for the support that you need from the divine to allow or embrace those things to come into your life. We're going to pause this reading here. I hope, but also sense that you got exactly what you needed, and take really gentle care of yourself. And also be really diligent with yourself this week because a lot of feelings going to be coming up and it's going to be real prickly out here. But I believe in you. I think you'll be able to do it. I think you'll be able to keep your cool or return to your cool when you've processed what you're feeling. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.